Hi everyone, how are we all today on this wonderful Tuesday, this Mars Day? How are we all? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Normally I have like something to say at the start, just like, how have we found such thing? And I'm kind of like in my own process a little bit right now. Easter weekend is always, I always find it quite a powerful one for me personally. There's always some type of rebirth happening, right? There's always some type of rebirth happening over Easter weekend, and rightly so, because it's always over a moon, right? A particular moon phase or lunation. It's always over, a particular point in the year, right? And there's a lot of energy behind that Easter weekend, right? There's a lot of energy behind it. So this weekend we had meteor showers, we had that full moon in Libra, right? We had a lot of stuff going on, and for many people, we had all those solar flares, and they're still continuing, right? They're still continuing, and we're going into eclipse season. And eclipse season it's already started really, but eclipse season, that's the soul's rebirth, right? We've got that partial eclipse on the 30th, and then 2 weeks later we have the eclipse around, is it the 14th, 16th, something around there, in May. And whenever there is that period of eclipses, it really is kind of like a death and rebirth for the soul, right? For anyone that's doing the work, doing the healing, finding their alignment within, doing all of that, and it shows up in the most interesting ways. But everything that those solar flares have brought through, starting around recently, and you'll have seen this if you're listening to the weekly guidance that comes through, if you're listening to the monthly guidance that I put in my email newsletter, and I always hear back, the resonance that people find with that, because they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, that's been happening. And for a lot of people, they've been feeling that physical energy, that physical recalibration energy, right? So for some people it shows up with needing more rest, needing that, just very tired, very sleepy, because when we're receiving extra energy from the sun, it impacts our physical body, because we are solar beings, right, in a solar system. And then also, because the moon then reflects the sun's light, the lunar energy is a lot more powerful as well. And for millennia there has been this desecration of the feminine energy, there's been this ignoring of the feminine energy, and the disconnect from emotions, right, and from our emotional body, from our spiritual body, even to the point of slander of that, really, kind of like, we always say, oh, don't show your emotions, and this, that and the other. And it's very interesting, because we are emotional beings, right? That is our guidance system on this planet, as to whether we're in alignment or whether we're not. It helps us create and manifest. So some would call that a vibrational reality, but also that would mean it's an emotional reality, right? And when we're not connected and tuned into what our emotions are feeling, to what we're feeling with our emotions, if we're ignoring it or if we're completely neurotic, it's kind of, before you get to that balanced stage, it's kind of one side or the other. It's like a complete disconnect, or it's complete neurosis. But you want to find that balance, right? So for a lot of people, this week has been very powerful, because Libra has brought in that, the Libra moon has brought in that balance, right? Brought in whatever energy we needed, right? Brought in whatever energy that we needed to kind of instigate a recalibration. So for some, and there's always been, in recent years specifically, there's always been this kind of out of balance energy that the woman has held as well, right? Because we've been in this man's world, right? Or to be more specific, this masculine energy, but this wounded masculinity, right? This not sovereign, not divine, right? Because the masculine energy, when he's divine, he is free, he's charismatic, he's inspiring, he likes structure and order, but in the sense that allows that freedom and that provision, right? And in the wounded sense, it's very obligatory, it's very out of control, it's very manipulative, right, in certain ways. And it's really interesting, because over the past few years, over the past few decades, few hundred years specifically, women have been kind of having to step into their masculine energy a lot. So within both men and women, there's been this imbalance, right? This imbalance within their internal poles, right? So I find that so fascinating, because when we have this Libra moon that just happened, a lot of people needed to step more into their feminine energy. Now, just to clarify for anyone watching that may be new to my channel, when I talk about masculine and feminine energy, I'm not talking about the gender stereotyping that happens in the world right now. I don't talk about any of that. I'm not specifically referring to gender and identification. I'm referring to the polarity that is within everything and all beings, right? And it's important to understand that, because we should be living in this polarized sense where we're able to remain neutral, but able to also charge negatively and positively, the negative being the receiving of the feminine and the positive being the charge of the masculine, right? Welcome to everyone joining. Yes, I'm going to be doing card readings anyway. I just kind of felt like I wanted to share that, because what this full moon has brought for us is kind of like a completion of whatever we started 6 months ago with the new moon in Libra, right? But also it's the first opening it's the first gateway that we've just walked through into this eclipse season, where it's going to be total rebirth. It's going to be total rebirth for you, for us, for the collective, right? And why that's important is because, and as you'll have seen in my newsletter, there are sleeping, who we would deem as sleeping, people where, this indigos and people with not extra gifts, people with gifts who haven't tuned into them yet. Their veil on their third eye is lifting back. They're seeing things are being uncovered, unveiled within themselves, right? And even within ourselves as well, our senses are being heightened, but there has to be that recalibration time, right? There has to be that time where we're allowing it to integrate. And if we don't allow that, then we will run ourselves down. So do make sure that you're taking the time when you're tired to rest. I literally had to have a nap before doing this. I was like, there's just too much energy right now. I need to just integrate it all. So listen to your body, right? Listen to your body, because when you do that, things align so much more, right? So I'm going to be drawing some cards. I'm going to be doing some mini readings. If you are watching this live, welcome. If you're not watching this live, let's start there. If you're not watching this live, if you're watching the replay, the messages for the people that are asking the questions, or for the people that are getting the mini readings, listen up, because you've been drawn to this video for a very specific reason. And regardless as to who is receiving the guidance, there will be something in it for you as well. So thank you for staying tuned, thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments how it resonates, especially if you are watching this back. But if you are watching this live, right, if you are watching this live and you do want a reading, please feel very welcome to just ask a question. Let's get more specific for you, right? If you've got something specific going on that you want some guidance around, the more specific you are, the more specific we can be. We're going to be connecting with the angelic realm and the star realm. And if you're on Instagram, just do me a favour and put your name in the question, because everyone's got this fantastic Instagram handle. I have no idea who you are unless you put your name on the comments. So make sure you put your name in the comments. Just let me know who you are as you are asking for a card or a reading. But yeah, whatever your questions are, we will answer them. We will bring through whatever the guidance is. And there is a special on right now. Soul activation sessions. I've got them on discount right now because of how powerful this time is in our rebirth, in our realignment, in our remembering ourselves. So soul activation sessions, they are a combination really of channeled guidance, of quantum healing, of quantum journeying, and a light language activation. They're very, very powerful, one of the most powerful sessions I offer, and I was just guided to put those on a reduced price for right now for anyone that is really called to step into their power and their light. Okay, so if you are watching, if you would like a card or a reading, I know someone's already asked one, just tell me your name. I forgot your name because I don't know all the handles off the top of my, I don't know your Instagram names off the top of my head, so just put your name in the comment, okay? Yeah, so I'm just going to wait because I'm getting a few people say hello. Absolutely. Jodie, of course you can have a guidance or a card reading. Okay, so if you don't know what to ask, that's a really great point. If you're not sure what to ask, you can just say that. I don't know how this works. I don't know how to ask. I don't know what questions. And we'll just draw some cards for you. Okay, so yeah, Jodie, absolutely. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink first. So, oh, it's been so long since I've seen you, Jodie. So lovely to see you on here. Okay, Jodie, what's the best guidance? Wow, okay. Cards just jumping out. Right, honey, we've got boundaries coming in for you first and foremost. So your energy is being pulled left, right and centre. So think of family, think of friends, think of yourself, right? Sometimes we can find ourselves, really just wanting, just wanting this, like this space. Look at her, she's laid down there. She's wanting to have this alignment within. She's wanting just to kind of be present in her own energy, yet there's all these hands going, oh, I'll just have some of this, I'll just have some of that. Likely because you radiate such a beautiful light that people are like, oh, wow, she's so magnetic. I want to be a part of that, right? So when this card comes up, it really is it's a very strong message to just say, listen, you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to make sure that you are replenishing yourself. You cannot help someone else. Even if we love them, even if we think, oh, it'd be really great to help them, you have to give to you first, right? You have to give to you first. This is probably a message that you've received before. If you're not sure how to establish better boundaries, because a lot of times we hear the word boundaries and we think, right, we have to put up really strong kind of, this is how you can talk to me and this is when I will be available to be spoken to, and we can kind of go to an extreme, but that's not what this card is meaning for you. And I'm just going to get another card to clarify it. This can also mean when you have a particular strength that others, or a particular intelligence, a particular strength, a particular connection, a particular something quality that others maybe desire within themselves, right? I remember when I used to spend time with you. You have a very magnetic, personality. So when we get the boundaries card, it really is, okay, where are you giving your energy? Where are you giving your energy before you've received it first? Okay, because we in ourselves, we want to be plugged in to the ultimate energy, right? To source energy. So we do that when we sleep, when we rest. We also do that when we take time with ourselves, right? Outside in nature is a good one, just in your own without technology. A lot of times this comes up for people that are on technology a lot. A lot of times this comes up for people who have family obligations, right? So it's just the question to ask, Jodie, is, where is it in your life right now that you feel it just doesn't light you up, right? You might enjoy interactions when you're in them, but where in your life do you think, oh, I need to? Where are you using those words? I need to help this person. I need to do this. It could be work, it could be family, it could be anything, right? But the thing is that there is this strength card coming up for you, Jodie, as well, to emphasize this, because you are incredibly strong. You've got a lot of perseverance about you. But it's also, oftentimes we can help and do things for others because they're asking, usually. But when we do that, we actually don't teach them that they can do it themselves, right? So we actually take someone's power as well by doing that without realizing. I mean, they also often give it away, but this can link back to you, right? Where do you ask for help with something that, you actually could probably do, very powerfully, very strongly yourself, right? The main thing that is coming through, though, is just, give yourself that time. Give yourself some time to be in your own energy, right? That's the main thing really coming through. It's just, give yourself some time. It's hard to know, and this is a message for everyone as well right now, but it's hard to discern how you're feeling when we spend our time with others, whether that's on our phone, social media, whether that's in person. If we wake up and we're with people, and we go to sleep and we're with people, and I don't know your family dynamic or anything right now, but when we spend time like that through the day, it can get very difficult to discern what is our emotion and energy and what is someone else's, right? So I hope that helps, and I hope that makes sense. Whenever you see me come live on here as well, just for, if anyone is new to this, or if anyone it's their first time being here, it's okay to not know what type of question you can ask. You can literally ask any type of question. what should I do with my day tomorrow? You know, it could be as simple as that. It could be a lot bigger. Why does this happen in the world? It could be anything. But just know that if you see me go live and you feel drawn to click in on this video, that, you know, you're doing it for a reason. You're doing it because there is some type of connection. There is some guidance that you're receiving, and a message that I'll be able to bring through. Probably that you know on some level. You just need to hear it again. But when there is a specific thing asked, we can get way specific. We can get really specific with you as well, right? So I hope that helps. Yelia74, what's your name, honey? What's your first name? Tell me who you are. I'm just going to jump back. Any messages for Yelia74? What family traditions? I'm getting family traditions actually for you right now. What family traditions are happening right now? There's real grounding and, you know, rooting down in a tradition. So that might be because it's been Easter weekend, whether you celebrate it, whether you don't. But, you know, usually, you know, we can get that nostalgia. We can get that nostalgia, and we can get that kind of, you know, that happy looking back memory and, you know, that fulfillment, especially in our familial home, or especially in that, especially in that kind of dynamic where when there is tradition and it feels good, it's a feel-good tradition, you know, because nowadays many people are kind of going, wait, why is that tradition? Why are we doing that? And they're questioning it. And that's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to have questions. But also at the same time, you know, there is something about being stable and being peaceful and being content in your home life right now. And it could be linked to a tradition that you used to enjoy when you were younger, something that you're maybe, if you've got kids, something that you're maybe kind of offering to your kids, or just, you know, it could be anything, but there is a passing on of knowledge, like a kind of a handing down of knowledge and experience that is being encouraged right now for you. It brings through a sense of stability, it brings through a sense of connection, wholeness, right? So like a pillar, like this, and financial security as well, that it can, you know, replicate, because we have the 10 of Pentacles coming up here, the 10 of Earth, right, coming up here. So there is an incoming energy, it feels, for you. And, you know, Taurus season is a really great season to look at money and things like that. So there will be revisitations of financial commitments and things like that. But I'm just hearing a lot right now about family traditions for you. And I don't know what that means for you. It might mean something specific to you. You might know what I mean when I say that. Or it might take some kind of just feeling into as well. But connection with the ancestral family for you right now is actually going to be really quite important. You could even be doing some family healing, ancestral healing, without realizing it, right? Or connecting with a parent, connecting with someone in your family that is just bringing a nice sense of fulfillment and wholeness. You know, it's really interesting when it's really interesting. Oh, it's Haley. Hi, Haley. Sorry, I've just seen your name. Oh, I've just seen the comments. Oh my gosh, Das's birthday. Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Yeah, so what do you do? What do you do on birthdays, right? You know, what feels good? Like, you know, it's kind of like you're remembering, you know, being a child as well. Like, you know, it's kind of like remembering that and allowing that celebration around birthdays then. Like, let's look at it that way. But yeah, we're getting the 10 of Pentacles coming through for you. And that's always a really wonderful energy because it just feels secure and stable and nice, you know? So, Haley, I hope that helps. Thank you for telling me who it is. It just makes it so much easier. Jodie says, that's fab. Alice, shocked with what you said. I can really relate. Oh, yeah, I bet. Oh, project managing a house. Yeah, there's a lot in that, isn't there, hey? Yeah, so, Jodie, just to kind of go back to what your message was, you will find that there will be so much more coherence and fluidity in what you're doing, in what you're managing right now, if you started your day, like the first 5 minutes of our day, we're in that alpha state, right? That alpha state is receptive of our mind, I'm talking about, because usually we kind of get ourselves up into beta, right? Which is kind of very fast, and that's where kind of like fear or stress or kind of like depletion happens at, is when the mind is in that too much. So, you can count back from like 100 if you're in the middle of the day. And actually what that does to your mind is it allows it to drop into alpha mode, which means that you can start to just be a lot more, like you're receiving a lot more, right? Your mind controls the nervous system, right? So, yeah. So just make sure that you start your day by giving yourself some time, Jodie, right? I'm just going to scroll up. Absolutely. So, oh, you keep getting the Ten of Pentacles, Haley. Yeah. Yeah. Dana, Katie, absolutely. We will be doing readings for you all. I'm just going to jump back up. I know there's a couple up here. Hi, Kira. Don't know if you're still live with us. Oh, your homie, Kira. Yes. How can I stay focused and committed with my meditation spiritual practices, or should I let it ebb and flow with energy levels? Yeah, absolutely. What a great question. Wow, that's a fantastic question. Yeah, ebb and flow. We've really got to honour how we're feeling, right? And, and we know, and Kira, as well, because you're part of the pranic family, but we can cultivate energy. We can nourish ourselves with pranic exercises like you are doing with meditation and stuff like that. But when we are integrating so much as we are doing right now, we just have to allow ourselves to rest if we need it, right? We have to allow ourselves to rest if we need it, right? When we look at consistency in spiritual practice and meditation, rest is a spiritual practice, right? Because we're allowing our body to connect with source. Again, that's what we do when we rest. But yeah, don't go for length of time. Go for consistency in terms of short bursts. So when you're looking at meditation specifically, it is far better for someone to do 3 minutes every hour of meditation, right? And that could just literally be sitting and just, counting back, just focusing on their breath and just focusing on their heart space. It's so much, more powerful if someone was to do 3 minutes every hour, every 2 hours, every 3 hours, versus trying to start establishing a half an hour practice in their day and starting to try and drop that in, just like that. It doesn't work like that, right? Because when we add something, and we want to add, right? We always want to kind of look at it from adding something into our practice rather than trying to substitute something else, because it can be really tricky if we take something out that has been a pattern for such a long time, right? So when we start to meditate, when we use that word meditate, but what we're actually doing is we're being present. We are feeling. And when you look at how the world has conditioned us to be, it is everything that will take you away from feeling, right? It's everything that will take you away from feeling. And, so when we start to do that, the brain, the ego mind, I should say, the ego mind can be like, oh my gosh, this is like, I'm going to come up with a million reasons not to do this because I'm starting to feel stuff that I've been taught or taught myself isn't great to feel, right? So short and steady, really. I'm going to draw you a card as well. It's always good when we kind of connect the great feeling of post-meditation or post a spiritual practice, right? So, for example, if you just started Qigong, right? But you don't necessarily know how to do Qigong, you kind of rely on watching someone and like feeling like, you feel ready for it, and, you kind of, you're needing to share someone's energy really to do that when you first start, if it feels so resistant, right? So, maybe we need to start somewhere else, right? So, and this is what I mean, because like I know for example, sometimes this is something that a pattern I can have, is that when I'm starting to learn something new, especially if it's like body movement or something like that, if I don't know what I'm doing and there's a session that I want to do, there's a good chance I probably won't do it because I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. So if it's difficult, right, for me to, like if I'm watching, for example, one of our friends run a Qigong session, and I can't hear them because I don't have wireless earphones and my phone doesn't do loud because for whatever reason, then I'd probably not do that live and try and make time for a replay, which I probably won't do because unless I'm there in the moment, I won't do it, right? This is what a lot of people do, right? A lot of people have this same type of pattern. It's kind of like this procrastination because it's so much easier to stay in the energy that we've created and has a lot of momentum through lifetime than it is to start something new. So when you start something newer, short and steady, like slow little bursts, so really like 3-minute meditations every hour, every half an hour, hour or 2 hours, that is going to have so much more impact if you can consistently do that throughout your day and then do that again the next day, because it's short, it's easy, right? Your attention can be focused on that, right? And you know, and you're building it over time, right? Rather than trying to accomplish like a mammoth task in one go. But so what we've got here for you right now, Kira, is we've got the Lover's card. You know, and Archangel Raphael is on this card. This is all about healing, heart healing and stuff like that. And look at the hands, holding hand to hand. It's like your mind and your heart need to be aligned with any spiritual practice. So what we were just going to go on to say as well is that, you know, when you know how you feel after you've done whatever the practice is, and you can connect with that and use that as your motivation, you're bringing your head down to your heart, right? So you can go, oh no, I do really want to do that. And you're kind of helping your mind get to a space where the mind is ready to be in alignment, to be in flow with you. Because otherwise we're usually, the only thing that stops us from having a consistent practice is our mind, right? Because the mind doesn't believe it's going to be easy or helpful. That's the only thing. So if we can have this align with this, we're over halfway there, right? So we just have to show the mind how easy it is over and over again, how easy and how great we feel and how great the mind feels afterwards. That's the biggest battle. And like I say, shorter little bursts more consistently will have such a greater impact than someone trying to accomplish, I'm going to do a half an hour of this and a half an hour of this and an hour of this. It doesn't work like that, right? So keep the mind engaged, and the mind only has a short attention span, really. So I hope that helps. Katie Gregson. Oh, you're so beautiful. It's so wonderful to see you here. Thank you for being here, honey. Okay. Right. Yeah, you can have a reading. So what's the best guidance for Katie Gregson right now? I love that I've got both of you on here. This is so cool. Do any of you guys get like volleyball dreams? I have like you guys in my volleyball dreams all the time. I'm like, dream guide, why do I have volleyball going on in my dreams right now? What are you telling me? Okay. Oh, wow. Cool. Right, so Katie. Okay. Right, so we've got the Queen of Pentacles here, the Queen of Earth coming out for you, honey. So this card, you know, this woman in here, she's got the ability to make anything beautiful. Like, she's got the ability to literally just look at something, just make it beautiful, because that's her beauty, her radiance shining forth, right? You know, you see here that she's got this coin there, so it's kind of like she has the Midas touch as well. You know, like literally everything that is around you can be made beautiful very easily. Now, what's really interesting is we've got the rabbit here, the hare, and I always kind of, you know, Taurus season. So I don't know when your birthday is or anything like that, but for this season that we're just about to enter, which is Taurus, so Taurus season starts now, really. You know, Taurus is ruled by Venus, right? And Venus also has that, it's like that Aphrodite effect, right? You know, Venus kind of governs beauty and bliss and pleasure and, you know, all of those things. Now, right now is going to be a very good time to be to attract into your life whatever it is that you want more of on a material level as well, right? And a lot of times, you know, you can a lot of times we find people kind of, especially in the spiritual world, are kind of like, you know, don't get too attached to materialistic stuff. And yeah, that's true. We don't want to be attached to it. But at the same time, we want to live in this abundantly beautiful space, right? Because we create our universe, we create our world, right? We create our home. And, you know, when you focus on what is beautiful around you as well, this can also be like the sensuality aspect and, you know, how we connect with our senses, with foods, with things that bring us joy. You're being called right now to really, you know, allow yourself to receive the beauty which you are in various ways, right? And you may already do this, I don't know. You may already have like a really cool knack for drawing into your reality, you know, abundance and beauty, you know, paintings, food, you know, all that good stuff, you know, whatever it is that brings you joy. You may already have that, but, you know, it's funny because, like, this card also can kind of be, you know, quite slow and steady, kind of sensible type of thing. But, you know, sometimes as well, you know, what's really interesting is on the bottom of the deck, Katie, is I've got this card, okay? So I've got the Nine of Air, okay, so the Nine of Swords. And, you know, this guy, he can be a little bit worried, right? You know, especially under the full moon. So I don't know how your weekend has been, but if you've struggled this weekend, like, if you just felt, I'm going to say struggle, I mean kind of like challenged with how you've been feeling. Because this can happen sometimes when we when we have like a bit of anxiety, or we kind of, you know, let our mind kind of gain momentum down a trajectory that is kind of like, you know, but what if this and what if that, and kind of we then start to expect the worst for certain things. What's really interesting having these two cards together is that, you know, you get to decide what is around you. And we don't do that by going, you know, we don't decide by going, oh, I just don't want this anymore, because by saying I don't want something, we're actually putting our energy and focus there, and we will receive more of that. So what this is this card is saying, we want to stop you focusing on whatever may be causing any type of worry. It might not even be strong, right? It might not even be like a in your face kind of thing. It might just be something subtle, to do with your day-to-day, or to do with, you know, with anything. But the thing is that it doesn't matter what has happened in life. It doesn't matter what experiences you've had. They do not have to repeat. That doesn't have to become a pattern or anything like that, because what this lady says is she says, I only choose to look at beauty, right? That's why my energy would go. That relates to us in the mirror as well. If we look at ourselves and we, you know, acknowledge the beauty that we see and the beauty of our heart, and, you know, beauty in a very loving way rather than an egotistical way, what happens is that beauty then starts to just magnify around us, right? So to have these two cards, they're quite polar opposites in certain ways, because, you know, we don't want to do what this guy's doing, which is up in the middle of the night going, oh my gosh, what is happening with my life? We want you to be focusing more on, oh my gosh, that is beautiful over there, look how beautiful that is, look how beautiful that is, and look at that cat just playing with like the butterfly, that is so beautiful. It's just kind of like, where are you focusing? Because what you focus on, that will grow, right? And a lot of times we don't realize what we're focusing on, because we think by saying we don't want something or we don't like something that we're kind of shutting the door on it, but really energetically we're still drawing that in. So yeah, so you're just kind of getting called to know how powerful your focus is, and know that you are a woman of beauty, right? You know, you're a woman of beauty, and when you see through the eyes of your heart, your reality starts to become all this very graciously beautiful stuff. So I don't know if that makes sense or if that helps in any way, shape or form, but the main thing is that if ever you start to worry about anything, you can change everything around you in an instant just by shifting your focus from whatever it is to this is really beautiful. And when we're feeling that love for something in our heart space, can't feel anything else other than love, and that's what we bring more of in. So does that help? I hope that helps. Hi everybody that is joining live. Jody, yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, Kira, you are so welcome. And Katie, you're so welcome as well. Oh, I'm so glad it helps. And feel welcome to join us. You know, I go live on Instagram every Tuesday. And if you do, by the way, if anyone does want to work more one-to-one with me, I do have one-to-one sessions as well, you know, channeled guidance, card readings and that. You can just look in the link in the bio, but I'm booked up until next week. I have a couple of appointments next week, and then I'm going to be into the week after. So there's about 2.5 week wait right now for a one-to-one session. But next week, I'm going to start alternating card readings with interviews. So actually next week, I have the honour of interviewing a wonderful woman from Canada who I've known for a few years now called Cara Melende. She's an Akashic astrologer. And what she doesn't know about how to really maximize on the energies that are coming in and how to build your life in alignment with the cosmic energies so that you're utilizing what you're feeling to highest good in your life, versus just being bowled over by whatever energy is going on. You know, she's just incredible. So next week is going to be an interview with Cara. So I'm really excited to see what wisdom and guidance she offers us and she brings us. But then the week after, once again, will be card readings. But let me just scroll up here because I know that there is some other people. I know Dana, we've got a card reading waiting for you. So let's look at that. I think you're the next one here. So beautiful, Dana. Okay, let's see here. What's the best guidance for you right now? It's nice to use a tarot. I don't use a tarot that often. I do when I do kind of readings. I'm actually going to start a new YouTube channel. So I already have a YouTube channel, as everyone knows, or I think you all know, where we bring guidance through, and we talk about a lot of things like cultivating our, higher abilities, the universal laws. We talk about many things, love, life, all that stuff, all that great guidance. Womb mysteries, we do a lot of mystery schools on my current channel, the Ascension to Love one. I'm actually going to start another YouTube channel, which will be 5-minute zodiac readings. So that's going to start this week. So I will share that when I have that going, because I'm going to be using the tarot there. But I usually use oracle cards, but yeah, just felt really called to work with the tarot today. So Dana, we've got the Queen of Water coming in here, honey. Trusting your intuition, a deep love. She feels, the Queen, she feels, right? She feels that that connection with others, But she's being reminded to follow her heart right now. Now, I don't know which way this card, she's looking in the camera, but when I look at this card, she's looking backwards, right? She's looking into the past, right? With her, 2 of the legs of the throne on the earth and 2 of them in the water. Now, so this may be indicative of you doing a little bit of healing right now. With past relationships, whether that's parents and things like that. There is that call, I feel, with this particular card, or maybe even passed over loved ones, right? So, because the thing is it's time to care for yourself. You care so much for others, Dana. You care so much for others and this has been a pretty consistent message throughout this whole video today, so whoever needs to hear this will hear this. But we've got to fill up our own cup first, right? We've got to do that. If we don't look after ourselves, we can't look after another, especially if they are young or vulnerable or kind of needing that guidance and things like that. But what's really interesting here is, she's sat on the sand, but her feet are in the water. Because sometimes as well, depending on the person, but sometimes we ground through water. A lot of people, when we hear the word grounding, we think that we have to take our shoes off and go stand in a field or put our hands on the trees or something like that. There is this mer energy, right? This mer energy. And the mer, they're a part of the Magdalene lineage, for one, right? But the mer, their ability to navigate waters, it's a superpower, it's a strength for them, right? And there's so much mer energy on this card, right? So it's kind of being reminded as well, Dana, to, connect with your watery side, whatever that looks like for you. I used to have a very good friend who would, her grounding process would be in water. I know I do that as well. If I live somewhere with a bathtub, I know I love taking baths because I ground a lot in that water, right? Some people don't, right? But some people do, and this is the call out for you right now as well, is just there is something that may be coming up for you, Dana, that wants to be healed, but it's there to be healed, right? It's there, it's accessible, is essentially what they're saying here. It's very, very accessible, because the queen, she sits on her throne in deep communion with the spiritual side that she has and her psychic side, right? So trust your intuition right now with whatever decisions you're making. Allow yourself space and time, right, to heal whatever needs to heal. And we've got to feel it to heal it. I want to say that again. We've got to feel it to heal it. It's not about putting a story to the feeling. It's not about putting a thought to the feeling. It's just about feeling it, noticing it, acknowledging it, whatever it is that wants to come up. Notice it, witness it, feel it to heal it. That's it. It's done. It's when we block it with thoughts that it comes back. Yeah. So, Dana, I hope that helps. Let me know. Hi, Steve. I wonder if you're still on here. Are you having a reading today, Steve? Let's see. Ah, salut, cher ami. Ça va? Fancy Nancy? Oh, Kira, thank you so much for saying that. And you know, exactly, as I said at the very beginning, if you are here watching this, every single message is going to be for you in some way, shape or form. Because you're here watching this. That's how it works. That's how channeled guidance works, right? Hi, Vicky. Okay, Vicky absolutely can have a card, and then Fancy Nancy will go to you. So, what's the guidance for Vicky? It's never too late for a card, Vicky. I mean, it's only too late if I'm no longer live. Usually, if you're watching the replay, then yeah, I'm not going to see that comment straight away. But you are live with me here today, so that's all good. Whew. Ooh, I love this. So much so that it jumped out my hand. 9 of fire. 9 of wands. Okay. Got the 9 of wands coming in here for you. Okay, Vicky. Protect what you have created. Right? Don't give up. What are you fighting right now? It feels like there is a kind of like a grasping. Like, I feel like a Pac-Man doing that. It feels like there's a grasping of something else. Someone is trying to grasp and you're trying to grasp, and there's kind of like this, you know. Ask for help. If there is something that you feel you're struggling with, that there's resistance around, that there is kind of like a unclearness, a confusion, a fog, ask your guides for help. And you know how to do this, Vicky. You know how to do this. But, you know, you've created something powerful. You've created many things that are very powerful. Because that's what we do in the world. We create. That's what we're here to do. And you know what? This protecting what you've created, that could literally be you, right? That could literally be you and your life and who you are, right? You know, if you feel like there is something going opposite that right now, you know, Jody, yes, it will be saved. It's going to be posted on Instagram, and I'll download it and I'll put it on my YouTube channel and Facebook as well, so you can watch it again. Okay. But yeah, Vicky, there is this shielding energy coming through for your heart, and it's like your heart needs just an extra bit of protection around you, just in case there is extra energy being drawn to you or coming in at you. Right, so if you are feeling like you've got that energy flowing to you, then just know that, you know, your heart light is the most powerful thing that's there. And it's also okay to protect your heart, right? Especially if other people are a little bit volatile. And once again, there is that full moon there, right? So what's this full moon brought for people? It's been a very tricky weekend for many people to navigate, right? Because of that Libra full moon energy, the opening the gateway to the eclipses, and the Scorpio moon. Scorpio is always really challenging for so many because you go into the deepest of depths. It's really quite intense. So protect your heart. And when we say protect, you can literally just ask Archangel Michael, or, you know, ask for that extra bit of support there. But you have cultivated such a strong... Yeah, okay, there's someone grasping at you. Yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of reach outs happening right now from people from our past and people that we don't necessarily want to open the doors back to as well. Sometimes they feel like they need us to heal themselves, and that's not the case, right? That's not the case. But yeah, if there is someone grasping, yes, ask the light of the angels to help strengthen your heart light. Because the thing is, there is nothing more powerful than the light of your heart. Nothing. So when your heart feels that connection to source, doesn't matter who or what is coming at you, nothing can touch you. So ask the angels to help you feel that from within, rather than feeling like you have to call it from outside. It's within you already, right? So sometimes when there is that external energy kind of coming in, sometimes it's for us to kind of put a boundary and just say no, or sometimes it's just to send blessings, energetic blessings that way, right? It depends on how real, how physical, how kind of in your face it is. It might be different for different people, but when we focus our energy on who is coming towards us, or what energy is coming towards us, that will only encourage that energy, right? Just like we said for a few readings ago, doesn't matter if we're saying I don't want this. The universe doesn't hear the words. The universe looks at where the focus is at. So if we're looking at someone or something that is coming towards us that we don't want there, we're focusing on that. We're going to bring more of that in. So ask the angels to help you remember the power of your heart and just carry on being amazing, Carry on focusing on what brings you love and joy. Ignore everything else, right? So I hope that helps, Vicky. Hi, Amanda. So much love to you. Amanda, we're doing card readings. If you would like a reading, just let me know. You can ask a question or just ask for a card. I'm going to read for Fancy Nancy first. But yeah, Amanda, if you're still live, feel welcome to ask for a card. Okay. Question from Fancy Nancy. Oh gosh, yeah, this is coming up a lot. Nancy, this is coming up so much. I've had the same thing recently as well, actually. Yes, so I broke up with someone I was dating. I feel them thinking of me all the time. I do miss them, but they weren't respectful. Any advice? Yeah, well, let's see what the angels want to say. Okay, we're going to pull out a couple of cards for you just to bring a message from the cards, right? Even though there is a lot of guidance wanting to come through, I just want to kind of depict it as well, show it. So let's see here. Okay. Yeah, you know what? There's because of the, like I said, I think it was at the very beginning. There's a lot of upgrading happening of things like telepathy, right? So we're feeling more, we're hearing more, right? We're feeling more, we're hearing more. Right, and that's very much what's happening here for you right now as well. Just have the High Priestess jumping out here. So it's not a time for action, is what the High Priestess also says. It's not a time for action. It is a time to go inwards. It's a time to trust the intuition and the gifts that you're receiving. Now, this is the thing. Telepathy only works vibration to vibration. So we have to be near the vicinity of a certain energetic vibration to pick it up. So if this is an ex or something like that, if they are reminiscent of you in a positive way, they're going to feel good, right? They're going to feel good. And then if your vibration is quite high anyway, you're going to hear those thoughts because it's connected to you and they're feeling good as they think those thoughts, right? So we receive them. Now, we can have a tendency, especially people that are doing the work on themselves, we can have a tendency to only see the shiny bits of someone from our past. And that's not to say that they haven't grown, evolved, realigned, healed. That's not to say any of that, because we don't know. And we don't know whether or not to reach out to someone from our past or not. Like, no one can really tell you that. I mean, they could, but the most empowering message to bring through is going to be, what do you feel about it? That's why the High Priestess is coming out for you here, Nancy. What are you feeling when you tune into your heart of hearts? Do you feel like it is in highest good for you to connect with that person again. Because sometimes they can be reminiscent, they can be thinking of you, and you're picking up on those thoughts, especially because, you know, of the season that we're in, of the cosmic shifts that we just spoke about, and because we're moving into Taurus, right? The Scorpio lunation that we've just had as well will bring in that desire to want to do the deep shadow work, you know. We also have the Star Mother coming out here. So she looks a lot like Mother Mary to me. But this can be any type of Star Mother. Or this can be any kind of Divine Mother energy. Because what's really being called for is how can you nourish yourself here? Right? Because, you know, the Father energy, he protects, right? The Father energy, the Divine Father, the sovereign masculine energy, he protects in a very freeing way, right? He holds the space and he holds the boundaries in a very freeing way. The Star Mother, the Divine Mother, she nurtures and she finds compassion for all. But having compassion does not necessarily mean to say we've got to reach out and they're going to be a whole new person, right? Because when we connect with someone from our past, you've already built up a lot of momentum with that person in some way, shape or form. And it takes a great amount of healing for not just yourself, but from the other person to shift those vibrations, right? It takes a great deal of focus and energy to heal old patterns in a dynamic. Because oftentimes, and this you see this a lot when, like, if you're an adult and you go back home, or you see your parents and you have a family meal with your parents, you see this a lot there. It's kind of like patterns regress to what it was like when you were younger. Right? And they struggle to see you as the person that you are now. And that's the same with an ex. Whatever was predominantly active in the vibration when you were with them, that's going to want to show up again, because between you both, you've created this kind of back and forth. So it takes a lot of focus when you connect with someone from your past. That's not to say don't do it. That's to say you've got to tune into your heart space and see what you're receiving for highest good, because sometimes, and I know it's like this there's a particular person who is in the past in my life, and when they reach out, I feel them telepathically, I feel them in dream time, and sometimes I'll receive something from them. And I know if and when that happens, you know, and I always tune in to what's highest good in that situation. And, you know, sometimes I'll ask advice or something like that as well. But when I actually tune into my heart of hearts, what I'm getting is, you know, to send them energetic blessings and love, right? And when they are consistently on a level that they can receive the telepathic thoughts that I'm sending back, they will receive that and they will know, right? So it's interesting, because we've got to find out how you really feel about all that, you know? We've got to find out how you really feel. So Nancy, I do hope that helps. I'm just going to draw one more card here. Yeah, your vibration is rising. And when your vibration rises, people from the past, they do want to kind of jump on that ride with you as well. But you're not a ride, you know? You might show the way and activate and empower that within them. But they've got to find their own pathway up to that vibration to maintain it, not siphon yours, you know? Does that help? Okay. Vicky, I'm glad that helped for you as well. Just reading the comments. Amanda, you'll take a card. Of course you will. Oh, honey, you're not alone. This is an ancestor card. This is those that have gone before you are walking with you always. Like, so in this picture, Amanda, you've got, you know, you got this pink orb around this, like, compassion, unconditional love around you. You've got animals, like, you know, animal medicine. You've got ancestors in the sense of, like, you know, ancestors, but this is also a card for past loved ones, past over loved ones being with you always, right? They stand beside you always. I'm just going to draw another card for you, Amanda, as well. I'm sure you do know who. Nancy, you're so welcome. Amanda. I've got like a million cards wanting to jump out for you. I'm just like telling you a story with these cards, Amanda. Let's see. You know what, so Amanda, I am actually going to show you this spread of cards that has just come out. Okay, so Amanda, enjoy your time with yourself right now. That's been a consistent message throughout this whole video, and it's only a very small part of what this card is bringing, but I just want to start off with that. The more time that you can be just you, yourself, and your heart feeling, the more connection you're going to have, right? The more consistently that connection is going to feel and going to be. But this card really, so this is the Nine of Pentacles here. So this is about happy, successful home life, feeling that contentment, feeling that receiving the fruits of your labor as well. So I'm not sure if you or if you're beloved, if you're about to receive something that will kind of on a materialistic level, that will just, kind of say, yeah, you know what, we've been working really hard and this is what's going to show for it. Because it's like there is something that is wanting to show there. There's a new emotional dynamic, new, very fulfilling emotional dynamic about to begin for you. Look at the dolphin in this picture as well. It is something connected with the spirituality, is what I'm hearing for you. So there's like a deepening of certain gifts that you have, or a certain practice that you are remembering, Amanda. That is coming in right now as well. You're currently integrating that. So this full moon period and over the eclipses, you will be integrating a deeper connection, but it will require that you shift perhaps how you do your alone time. Okay, so it's there's the routine that you've got and the routine that you enjoy, but there's going to be like an extra who's that person saying hi to everyone? But yeah, there's going to be like an extra deepening and a shift that is going to want to occur, so that something can come online for you, right? And then you've got the Page of Water, the Page of Cups. So look at this. It goes from like young, new, something new starting, through to something else kind of sort of concluding. Sorry, I don't know who that person is and they're just spamming everyone, so I've just blocked them. Sorry. All the dolphins. Yeah, so yeah, going from this to this is really emphasizing this speedy development, right? This speedy kind of progression of spiritual gift. There is something, Amanda, that is really, really developing here for you. Right, look, you got the dolphin in both of the cards as well at the back. And look at this, from like your cup being under the water going, yes, go on. I'm receiving through to, this cup now overflowing. It's like you've come onto the shoreline, you're walking the walk as well, right? You're grounding that energy in, and your cup is overflowing, your cup is overflowing. Okay. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. There we go. Okay. Once again, we've got the Hermit card coming in, right? I say once again, it's not actually appeared yet, but I say once again because the message is this individual time, this alone time, this incubation, this cocooning, self-discovery, right? The Hermit offers a self-discovery and a deepening. So this is really cool. I'm just saying, it's really cool. Oh, yeah. And then we've got the fire energy coming in, okay, for you. So there's celebration, there's passion, there's fun, there's, look at that, there's a home in the background there, there's you dancing with a beloved one, it's, there's just gratitude and contentment and prosperity starting to move in, right, from this development of spiritual gift, right? So it's funny how we started here with the home, right, and kind of like something arriving for you in the material kind of sense. Going through this emotional and, well, more spiritual than emotional, but this spiritual kind of connection and deepening, right? And learning and incubation. And then once again, we move back into that fire, we move back into that passion, that, that lovely energy. Erin, hello, if you're still watching, you can request a card or a reading if you would like. feel very welcome to. But then we have Archangel Azrael coming in here. This is the Three of Swords, right? So Archangel Azrael is the angel of transition, right? Who brings us comfort and love and helps us process, you know, many things, right? Especially grief, right? And Archangel Azrael, you know, allows us to really, he's just really there for us, right? He's just really, really there for us. And, you know, we start to understand things differently, perhaps, when we're meant to, because he's here not only for any type of, you know, literal transition, but also for any kind of, you know, shifting home to home, work to work, things like that, right? Any misunderstandings that may have happened as well between anyone, you know, he also helps heal those. So it's really interesting cards come in because he kind of comes in, you know, this isn't the Star Mother that we spoke of before. This isn't that Mary energy or that Mother energy that we spoke of before. This is like the Father energy coming in this particular card here. So I find that really quite interesting, because there is like a healing around that. A healing around our masculine energy, perhaps, within us. And then we end with this big block of cards that jumped out for you with the One of Fire, the One of Wands. Look at this little boy here. Look at him with his little pet dragon, his little flower in a pot, and his plant, you know. And this is about passion, doing what you're passionate about. This is about new beginnings and taking action and being bold and courageous. So, you know, there may be something shifting as well in your kind of passion, work, drive kind of area as well that will develop from these cards from before, right? The mermaid ones and that. So there's quite a block of cards that came out. So I hope you enjoyed the story they told, and I'm sure you'll let me know. But yeah, is there anyone that I've missed here? Any readings that I've missed? I'm just going to scroll up through the comments. Hi everyone. Oh, this is so much fun. I love doing these readings with everyone. So we're midway through From Illusion to Love. So Melissa and I, you'll have seen this advertised on my page, but I'm currently co-facilitating a course called From Illusion to Love. It's a shadow integration course. So whenever we are on our path and we feel these blocks, we feel kind of like a slowdown or a confusion or a fogginess or kind of something just appears out of nowhere and you're like, what even is that? Shadows are rejected parts of ourselves. They're the parts that we don't see. We can't see them consciously. Our mind can't see them. So when we do any shadow integration, any true shadow healing, we're integrating and bringing back to neutral any charges that we have, anything that's been built up in our emotional body, in our mental body, in our solar plexus, you know, in our physical body. We're bringing we're bringing that back to neutrality so that we can see it from the eyes of source, right? And when we can do that, we then are able to manipulate energies in the way that we can attract what it is that we truly desire and just have this epic flow, right? This really wonderful flow. So Melissa and I are co-hosting. It's a live rollout, but the sessions are recorded. So week by week, you're receiving the recordings in your inbox. So we've already done the Narcissist Empath Trap. That's already gone out. We did the Father Wound last week. We're doing the Mother Wound this week. So we have quantum healings and soul activations and light language attunements and an actual class as to how those wounds and how that separation shows up and how it, shows up and how it impacts and how we can heal that. It's really powerful. It's probably one of the most powerful courses that we've done. But I share that with you because even though it's a live rollout, it's an on-demand, complete at your own time. So if you are called to doing probably the most powerful work that you could do, the link is at the top of my bio, right? At the top of the menu in my bio. Have a little look, see if it resonates, see if it calls to you, because we do have a live Zoom call next week, like a midway check-in, and they are so powerful because they're like these live guidance sessions here, but very, very specific to whatever it is that you're working through. So when you are walking the walk and you just want to have a blissful life, and you keep getting those little stumbling blocks, we're just clearing those out. No time for them anymore. It's like time to just embody our bliss, right? So if that calls to you, do check it out. But I think I'm just going to check if anyone's commented since. But other than that, I think I'm going to kind of wrap it all up. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. You're welcome. And yeah, just one final note. If anyone's feeling their solar plexus kind of get tighter or triggered or anything like that, make sure that you put your hand in it and just move your hand, right? Breathe into it, move your hand and actually breathe into, put your hand on your solar plexus and breathe down into your hand, right? Breathe down into it and just allow that breath to move any energy that is kind of holding, stuck, uncomfortableness, right? Connecting that with your heart space. So anyway, I send you all so much love. What have we got coming up next week? We've just moved into Taurus. Woo! So we have got, let's see, Melissa has got her Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine call on the 21st, I think it is. I have an interview on Tuesday. I'm interviewing Cara Melende right here on Instagram. And on Wednesday, the 27th, I am being interviewed by the wonderful Georgie in her Facebook group. So if that calls to you for watching that, I'll let you know nearer the time. But yeah, on the 27th, I'm being interviewed by Georgie. We're going to be talking about all things shadow work, right? How they show up and how we can clear them. So stay tuned for that. But otherwise, I will see you all. I'll see you all another time. So much love. Mwah. Enjoy your evening.